Years ago, I had some friends that went to school kind of close by, but far enough away is a decent drive, and I'd go and visit them from time to time, and this is about their graduation party. At the time, I was a sophomore in college, so I was only 20 years old, and I didn't plan to drink at this party because I had a final the next day, and I had a tenuous hold on my B in the class, so I needed all my faculties. And back then, I didn't drink much before I was 21. Shows like Euphoria paint a picture of booze fest, and it really wasn't how it was when I was in high school or even in college. But fiction's fiction. Anyway, I go to the party, and I remember most all of this because I was sober. Everyone else was drinking like it was, I don't know, they had one day left to live or something, because everybody's going pretty hard. And my buddies were fiends, absolute fiends for Little Caesars Hot and Ready. I still eat them occasionally to this day. They are the great value. They had, give or take, about 20 boxes, I'd say 100 boxes of pizza saved up. And what they decided to do was take these boxes and other random shit they wanted and put it in a fire pit and light it on fire. And pizza grease, I learned that day, was a great accelerant. And the flames shot up above the building. There's even pictures. It was just burning. I couldn't believe it. And the security guard for the apartment complex comes and he says, okay, don't put anything more on the fire. This is cool. Just don't burn any more stuff. Okay, thanks, man. About 5 minutes later, the fire department, the police, all come and they say, well, even though you have a fire pit, it's illegal in this city to light a fire in your own fire pit. Because ordinances, and they didn't really go into details. And the police noticed a lot of people with alcohol outside were less than amused and said, keep it inside and stop, just openly drinking. So we put out the fire, which again, these buildings were 3 or 4 stories and the flames got up above that. It was a mighty fire. It's no wonder they noticed it and somebody called. And we get inside, there are people smoking, there are people drinking, there are people playing Call of Duty, because Call of Duty was, at its most popular at that time. And everybody was taking turns playing. And one thing I remember, everybody's drinking heavily, smoking, enjoying themselves. There's even some people playing some singing game on another PS2 they had set up. And then, I don't remember what time rolled around. I guess it was 8 o'clock. American Idol came on and everything stopped. Everything. Call of Duty went off. The karaoke game went off. The smoking stopped. The drinking slowed down. And everyone was just fixated on the TV for American Idol. I could not believe it. So what's going on? Can we not keep playing Call of Duty? No, American Idol's on. You need to shut up. So for an hour or so into a party that had music blaring, people talking, everything just went quiet. And I think that's why after American Idol came off and the music came back on, they called the police, and the police came by. They said, keep the volume down, don't make any more noise. That's the second time they had to come. It was the same guys, and I could kind of tell they were losing their patience, because they probably, it's a college town, they get tired of putting up with that craziness. And then another guy who was a cousin of one of the roommates, one of my friends, some girl came along, she just appeared. No one knew her from the party, and she took his keys that he had on a lanyard, put them on, went in the bathroom and threw up, flushed his keys down the toilet, His keys were no more. And proceeded to pass out while intermittently talking about some random guy that had died. At this point, I leave. It's, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock by this point. I haven't drank, and I leave. Not long after I left, I'd learned this secondhand. The police came back because nobody turned the music down. Matter of fact, I think some people were just like, well, what are they going to do? Arrest us? And they turned it back up. And turns out that's what they were aiming to do, because that was the third time they had to come. And I was under 21, but I'd left. I hadn't been drinking. But there were other people there that were under 21. And they were going to start IDing people. And they said, if we find anybody underage, you're all going to jail. Plain and simple. So funny how the adrenaline rush just leads to quick thinking. Before the police got there, somebody noticed. And they corralled everybody that was under 21 into one of their bathrooms. So there was like 10 people in a tiny bathroom with the door closed. And they started IDing people. And everybody was 21. They started getting frustrated because so many people were overage. They're just like, oh, whatever. Turn off the music. This party's over. Y'all need to go home. And that's kind of the end of it. But that was always one of the funnier parties I've been to, because I was sober and the other people were not, but they impressed me with their ability to think on their feet when the police came 3 times.